Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forge Lines Forever. Today I have a 3v3 ladder match here on the most amazing Roxas map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players. We'll start with Team 1 on the northeastern side, and we'll end with Team 2 on the southwestern side, also known as the red team versus the blue team. We will start with Team 1's southeastern player we have in Blood Angel Red. It is the Cybran of Swatoslav. He is a 21-19 rated player. He is the highest rated player on Team 1. And sharing the front line with him in the northwest direction, it is MacroNoob. He's playing as a Cybran as well in Chevy Crimson. He is a 21-17 rated player. And then last but not least for Team 1, we have in the northeastern corner of the map, it is Sainse playing in orange, color orange, as a Cybran. He is a 1691 rated. So for Team 1 side of the map, they have a Cybran and another Cybran. So Team 1 only has Cybran tech. They have no UEF tech. They have no Aeon tech. And they have no Seraphim tech. Moving on to Team 2's northwestern side first. Continuing the trend here for this game, we have Charles the Clerk playing as a Cybran in Royal Blue as an 1876 rated. To his south, we have as a Cybran, so 5 Cybrans so far for this game. It is Strogo. He is an Amethyst Purple as an 1871 rated. So 5 points of rating separate those Western players on Team 2. And breaking the mold for the entire game, it is a Neytron. He's playing as an Aeon. He is a 2149 rated, the highest rated player on Team 2. And in the game overall, he is in Stitch Blue. So for Team 2 side of the map, they have a Cybran and another Cybran, and then the one and only Aeon of the game. So Team 2 and Team 1 could have had a full Cybran game had Neytron not picked Aeon tech, but that's okay. That does mean that Aeons are represented in this game, but that also means that UEF and Seraphim are not. So apologies to those loyal to the Earth Empire, and apologies to those who love to arrive late, but just somehow at the same time make grand entrances. Hopefully you enjoy the game nonetheless. And for the 6 players on the map, let's take a look at their reclaim situation. Currently sitting at 12,000 mass and reclaim, which again in a normal maybe 5x5, 6x6 game be about 1,000 mass or so. But in this game it's 2,000 mass per player, so definitely worth writing home about. And in terms of the major clumpage of location of mass, nothing really above a 450 or so. We do see it's kind of dotted around this plateau section here. Is it on the lower section or the upper section? Well, it's kind of mixed. And in terms of the additional mexes on the map as well, if I can even talk correctly today, there are a couple of Trim expeditions on the northwestern side. There's also a twin mix on the southeastern side with another Trim expedition here. Another twin mix there, and there are a couple of mexes along that central line. Nothing too crazy, though, in terms of mexes in the middle of the map. We do see a nice little pond in the southeast that we probably will see play at some point. It is a decent portion of the map, and definitely T2 units can shoot at, as an example, Team 1's base of northeast where Swatoslav, so definitely worth taking over. We do see a drop inbound from Team 2 Strogo, which I don't... Actually, did he drop off engineers, or is he just going for ghetto gunship? He's going for ghetto gunship, it looks like. Thought he was going for drops, but it is not a drop. He did drop off some engineers over there, though. We do see gun started for Swatoslav. Gun already done for MacroNoob, going for stealth. Then we have gun started for Neytron, already done with his speed upgrade. Again, Strogo and Charles are moving northward. So it looks like everybody in the game has moved in some way or the other. We do see really the only player not in the middle, or rough middle, is Sainse over here to the northwest, taking over that Trim expedition that technically belongs to Team 2. At least cutting down the middle, at least. It's not now, but in terms of cutting down the middle of the map, making everything roughly even, technically it belongs to Team 2. Gun started now for Team 2's Charles. And as a Cybran, he has access to the Mantis, who have the ability to assist with upgrades and whatnot. So that's how he is able to get all these Mantis to upgrade that comm just a little bit faster. Again, gun speed / range are online here for Neytron, pushing back the Mantis from Swatoslav. And again, it is a Roar and Mantis. That's it. No Lobos, no Strikers, no Thams, no Zooey, no any of that stuff. Because again, that tech is not in this game. Northeastern side direction-ish. We do see, it looks like units being dropped off by a nice little transport from Strogo. and claiming that Trim Expedition that technically belongs to Team 1. But first Comic-Com action has occurred, at least that I've noticed, between Team 1, Swatoslav, and Team 2's Neytron. It could have occurred actually between Charles and MacroNoob, considering the damage to them. It looks like yes, maybe, possibly maybe. It could have been from the units themselves, but I do kind of want to bet on maybe a little bit that it was Combi-Com oriented. So I think I'll say actual Combi-Com action first occurs between MacroNoob and Charles. We do see Northwestern Corps, Strogo, and Sainse over here. So it's 1v1 here with a slight advantage for Team 1 because there's a little bit more momentum already in that direction. And neither of them have gun. Team 2, it's 1v1 in the middle between Team 2's Charles and Team 1's MacroNoob, with MacroNoob getting hit a little bit by some Mantis, loses his radar system. That's a little unfortunate. It does have some rhinos to avenge that. And then it's 1v1 in the southeast, or at least mid-east, at least between Neytron and Swatoslav. Does end up grabbing that radar system with his comms gun upgrades. Again, shield has been started for Neytron. The only player in the game that can go for a shield on board is actually the only player in the game that can't even go for for Nano on his comm. So advantages and disadvantages, of course, of every faction. And again, lots and lots of Cyberns are going to be producing a whole bunch of Mantis and rhinos and bricks and monkeys and all that sort of stuff. But we have a little sprinkling of some of that Aeon tech. We do see upgrades started here for Strogo. It is a gun upgrade over there. So I think Team 2 will fill out all of their guns. Team 1, it's just Sainse over here. Again, he does have a decent amount of Team 1 units he could try to push. Strogo is pretty much nearby that Team 1 PD emplacement, but unfortunately some Medusa are outranging that PD emplacement until he finishes that gun, which he probably will just tank the damage for it. So once he gets the upgrade, he'll be able to blap those away pretty quickly. But again, just tanking it for now. And here comes the upgrade here for Team 1. Sainse getting built pretty quickly by the additional assistance from those Mantis. So it'll be finished not exactly when he maybe would want it, but Strogo is able to at least deal with a couple of those Medusa from Team 1. He might push in a little bit. He won't stop the upgrade from being completed, even if he continues moving northeast, but he could have killed off a couple of Mantis. Stealth upgrade started immediately. We do see pings going down from somebody in the game. I would assume from Team 1 saying, hey, move. Watch out of there. Here comes the comm. Here's more comm action between Strogo and Sainse now. Stealth started in the middle here for Team 2's Charles. Shield is done for Neytron, going up against only gun for Swatoslav. And those 8,000 additional hit points are definitely going to come into play versus the only 10,000 for Team 1 Swatoslav. And that actually might be an advantage that Neytron might actually push just to eliminate a comm in this game, because that's 8,000 additional hit points on top of the total base hit points that he actually has an advantage on all the Cyberns in the game anyways. So actually he might even kill off Swatoslav if he can not get to the water in time. Nano repair started here for Charles in the middle. And Neytron doesn't care. He's continuing to push. Definitely wants to keep those units back so he doesn't get veterancy to Swatoslav, which he does get. And then Strogo and Sainse draw. I thought they were fine over there for a second, but I guess not. And then on the eastern side, Swatoslav is getting hit. 1,000 hit points remain. There's a couple of frigates nearby. 500 hit points remain. Neytron focusing on, looks like, the remaining rhinos. Looks like he does not pursue the comm of Swatoslav. He's now on double base, I'd imagine. And then Neytron kills off those remaining forces. Maybe allowed Swatoslav to get out of there. He probably could have killed him if he really wanted to. Maybe he just got distracted slightly and he got out of range. I think the frigates could have caught up to him and killed him off, but I did not expect this over here to the northwest. I thought Strogo was going to disengage, or Sainse was going to disengage, but I guess not. So it's now a 2v2 game. Tied up again. Neither team is in the lead or has been in the lead for comms left alive because they both died at the same time. So there's that. We do see, interestingly enough, a torpedo upgrade started for Swatoslav. You would think he would go for stealth and then nano, but no, he went for torpedo, which is, again, interesting. Team 2 does have some naval tech online, not a lot, and I don't know how much of a benefit that's going to help, because if he starts focusing on this without his own naval facility to try to keep the water under his control, Team 2 is just going to build another naval facility somewhere and then regain control anyways. So I don't know if he should go for... he canceled the upgrade anyways, so either he heard me through the ether or something. Maybe he started the wrong upgrade first, which is possibly entirely possible. And again, given the fact that, again, just the pond it can have an adverse effect on him, especially because he's near that pond. He does have a rig out slot base that he's going to be focusing on now. T2 PGen's being built. T3 upgrade has been started for him. So again, he's on double base. Same, not though with Neytron. Actually, Charles gets the double base, which also makes sense because he's also a Cybran. And looks like that northwestern side is kind of dying down a little bit on the action for now. He has a couple of gunships running around, killing out frontline structures. We do see T3 land husbands. That's going to be killed off almost immediately. And the engineer is focusing on upgrading that facility. We do see Team 1 Mantis that can't shoot at air units. We do see a couple of Corsairs over here. The Hills actually might be able to help a little bit, but they're focused on going after the interceptors. And that T2 land headquarters, honestly, is going to get decimated here shortly. We do see a couple of shots from that Corsair hit that gunship, but no, that is going to be denied. So nice grab there by Team 2's air. And look at how far Swatoslav has fallen back. He had to actually cancel his stealth upgrade because Neytron was coming after him. Again, Neytron on 2-star vet, almost at 3. So not only does he have 13,000 base, but he has 8,000 with the shield for a total of 21,000. And then again, Swatoslav only at 10,000, so a 2-to-1 advantage just in hit points alone. Regen does favor him, to be fair. It's 24 versus 22, just barely. Still in favor, though. Not if he gets another rank in veterancy. It will favor him, at least for a little while. We do see MacroNoob hanging out over here. He has gun and nano online. Does he have another one? Yes, he does. T3 land headquarters here. So it looks like that was being built by Swatoslav. So I don't know. I mean, it would have been probably nice to have a T3 land headquarters here, but yeah, it's too far forward, plus not his starting lane. And again, you usually kind of focus on the starting lane unless it's very similar. You know, in this situation, we have the airbase being under the control of the player to the more west side. So he's kind of focusing on that west/middle anyways. Where we have Swatoslav, he had a base being gifted over to him from his teammate of Sainse, who died, and he was on that west side, but he's on the east side. So it's kind of farther away. It's not the same exact thing. It's similar, but not the exact same thing. And given the fact that he's building T3 air, which again, he's going to have ASFs under his control and running around his shortly. Team 2 also has ASFs soon to be built as well. So it's not an easy win in air so far for Team 1 or Team 2, because Team 1 can easily just, well, nope. But we'll see how the game progresses. In terms of eco, it is pretty low numbers so far at 16 and almost 17 minutes on the clock. It's slightly in Team 2's favor, ever so slightly, but it is a slight advantage and might be growing as I make comments about it, I guess. And Team 1's MacroNoob still hanging out here. T2 radar system would like to see maybe a T3 upgrade soon for Omni, but doesn't need it right now. It's mainly Team 1, couple of T2 forces very easily blapped away by those Cerberus. The Team 1's not the T2s. And Neytron does have the Aeon Sniper mini-tank combo online. Mini-tank being the fact that he has the first of the 2 shield upgrades, and he has the Aeon advanced range and speed upgrades online. Still owns the southeastern corner of the map, though. Team 1 has retaken this position at least. No T2 Navy yet. I could see maybe a call for T3 Navy, maybe, but that's probably 35, 40 minutes on the game sort of thing with those Tempests. Long-range missile tech could easily blap away this base and maybe even this base. It might be long enough to reach this base, but I definitely don't think... Oh, what is this? Mermaid being built here by Neytron. Does Team 1 even have any... Oh, they have no idea what's up here. That is amazing. Cruisers being built shortly. That's definitely the move here. If you can deny some air long enough, that would give the air player now for Charles an advantage over Team 1 Swatoslav. This is very interesting. If it can get going, it can almost mean the game here for Team 2 if they can get this rolling. If it can't, it was an attempt. Lovely attempt, though. Not the end of the world if it doesn't work, but if it does work, ooh, that's going to be not good for Team 1. We do see Swatoslav is ready to spot on an upgrade, and Neytron moves into range of the comm. Doesn't need to do that because, again, he has advanced range. But again, as a reminder, Swatoslav does have stealth online, So unless he has an Omni within range or Vision within range, he can't actually see that comm. Swatoslav finishes the Nano upgrade, and now it's essentially 15k hit points with 80 hit points a second regen versus Team 2's Neytron at 34 hit points a second regen at 15,000 plus an additional 8,000. Lots of T2 support here for Team 1. They are, again, the Rhinos, so they have a little bit more beefier hit points, and they do a little bit more damage than the Blazes. But we see Obsidians here from Neytron and Harbingers here for him as well. So that T2 army, I mean, it's nice, but not as nice as the T3 somewhat embedded army from Team 2. We do see a couple of units moving in to intercept the T2 and Team 1 and a little bit of T3 tech from MacroNoob just to put a little bit more pressure on the Neytron. Naval facility has one cruiser online. He stopped production for now. Again, Team 1, are you? Nope, not aware of it yet. That Mermaid is really keeping things under wraps for now. We do see a tiny little Harbinger running around here from Team 2's Neytron. And again, the little bit of just running around, going after a couple of mexes. We see similar things happening on the western side, though. This doesn't look good. This maybe is enough bricks to kill him off. There's only 4, though. We have T2 PD now shooting at them. That's actually probably going to be enough. It definitely will hurt him, but it won't kill him off, as the units are probably focused on pushing southward. It looks like Overcharge inbound does wipe out another brick. Now it's down to 2. It looks like they've actually built on that little gap to almost semi-prevent the pathfinding of the brick from actually working. It's a nice placement there from Charles, just being annoying in that regard. And brick is almost out of range. It barely gets out of range. Charles moving in to intercept those bouncers, but again, nothing too worrisome. Again, Team 1 lost the Trap Expedition here, but Team 2 has technically lost 2 sets of Trap Expeditions with another mech there, so numbers are favoring Team 1 for what's being denied on Team 2's side of the map. The only problem is that eco advantage is very, very present. And Team 2 has been able to build up mexes. Because, again, a lot of the fighting, yes, has been happening on Team 2's side of the map. But, honestly, that raid on that northwestern side really hurt Team 1. And, again, another raid down here. More mexes on the front line dead. Again, we have... No, those mexes aren't as important. We have this facility that's starting to look not good. We do see... Team 1's got to notice that at some point. The only way to get Navy over there is to build something... essentially there, which they're probably not going to build something there, so you'd either guess it's there or there. Probably not there. It could, but it'd have to go all the way around, and at that point you might as well just build on the edge of the map, so it essentially eliminates that being a clear spot of where that facility is. Or the likelihood that it walked all the way across the map into the water and then over is not going to happen, because Team 1 would have noticed. Team 1 would have noticed. But MacroNoob is inbound with that laser upgrade. Neytron is actually able to hit him. Swatoslav is here as well. He's benefiting from the kills to be able to get a little bit of efficiency here. And Neytron is now in the water. Almost got cornered by Team 1, but said, nope, I'm getting out of there. We have bricks being built here by Team 2's Charles to stop this push from Team 1. Looks like it was there was some loyalists, but it looks like there was bricks as well. Team 1 has a huge advantage now with the laser upgrade online. It will make MacroNoob a target, but this is concerning for Team 1. There goes the T3 P-Gen. Gets recon to the last second. Saves the engineers nearby. And now there's another T3 P-Gen being hit. Kind of. Maybe. Maybe possibly. Navy Strat Bomber inbound. That's going to help out a ton. There goes the bomb drop to kill off almost half the hit points in one payload. And there's another, let's see, a cruiser starting to shoot at stuff from Team 1. Looks like they were kind of waiting. Another destroyer coming online. That's a bomber. Almost wipes it out in 2 bombs. It needs 3, actually. Team 1 bomber's helping out a little bit. A little bit of efficiency here for that destroyer, though. And T3 Pigeon was reclaimed. Strat bomber is annihilated, but cruiser comes in and says, nope. Nope, that's not going to work. And looks like some comment made by Sainse. Oh, yeah, they comment about the headquarters? No, they're probably talking about sniping Neytron with the laser comp, but that didn't work. This is just incredibly amazing to watch, because once it's been, again, noticed, Team 1 knows about it, they're going to deal with it here shortly. A T3 Pigeon is lost, which is kind of big because, again, you need those Pigeons to actually fund all of the stuff that you build with air. If he loses the other one, that might be devastating. He'll still have some power, but it's really going to hurt. He is aware of the headquarters location now. And again, it's probably going to be cruiser and then probably destroyer, destroyer, cruiser, destroyer, destroyer, cruiser just to get as much DPS out. 2 mexes are already offline. He's dropped below 100 mass a second. Team 2 was starting to be caught up to by Team 1 in terms of eco, and this is not helping at all. He could actually push southward. We do see a couple of bricks are actually inbound, and it looks like they're going to maybe go after Swatoslav's base down here. And I don't know what a couple of Team 1 units are going to do, but it's going to annoy those forces from Team 2's Neytron just at the bare minimum. We do see now Charles is inbound to Swatoslav's comm. ASF's over the top. Gunship inbound as well, just to help things out a little bit. And air fight nearby. It looks like Team 2 has the numbers. Again, Team 1's a little bit distracted dealing with those destroyers from Team 2. And there's the air win there. We do see a little bit of AA in the area, but not by much. Swatoslav is within range for the most part of the comm of Neutron's gun. But again, doesn't have visual. Oh, it does still have visual contact. Never mind. But that is now shot down. He should lose sight of that. Yep, momentarily. Actually loses sight of everything else there. But he's still alive. Everybody else is still alive. So no deaths happened except for the trades that I missed earlier in the game. So how's the destroyer thing working over here? We do see a couple of bricks over here going after the facility itself. We do see, again, torpedoes on board, not only the bricks, but torp defense as well. So probably may need to build maybe a torp launcher or something just to really hammer that home. The bricks are taking some damage slowly. We have torp bombers over the top. They went after the cruiser. Again, shoot at the stuff shooting at you, and then shoot at the stuff everything else. So that way you don't have to be worried about taking damage. And at the bare minimum, they wiped out 2 mexes and a Pigeon. It wasn't a bad move. It was a very interesting move, to say the least, but not something that's going to immediately win the game. Team 1 saw it soon enough. And again, the attack actually happened. Missiles wipe out the facility, and that's going to be the end of that. But it was lovely to see nonetheless. And we might see an airlocking happening here for Team 2 against Team 1 here shortly. Just making sure that nothing else is produced in air, at least for a little bit. I'm surprised that Team 2 didn't try to follow this up with just a strap bomber or a gunship rush moving into the base, just because, again, they have air now. They had one whaler running around, but I think it got shot down. And they could have easily wiped some more stuff out, because, again, they're still dealing with the Salems and the destroyers and whatnot. Well, I guess that's the same thing. And Team 1 was so focused on dealing with that, building torp bombers, they could have easily built their own. Even just Corsairs moving in and wiping out the Pigeon, wiping out the headquarters if they could grab it. Maybe even targeting Sainse based here, taking something offline in terms of air. And Team 1's probably going to be hyper-focused on dealing with air now, because now Team 2 has the advantage. They kind of flew over Team 1's air grid, so definitely going to be thinking about how to deal with that. We do see circling going down. I think they spotted MacroNoob now, where they circle with, I guess, that one particular mech. Don't know what that 6 mass a second mech is really that important to be circled, but I guess it was. Also note that Strogo is still in the game because he is doing the circling. I don't know. I guess Sainse is also still in the game because he's commenting about stuff. So it looks like maybe he's like build a upgrade maybe. He's pinging this. It's not building anything. And in terms of Navy, still only Team 1 for Neutron. And again, he could have followed up that T2 naval headquarters here with his own back here and started to push maybe the destroyer route. Maybe that geography is it's not that tall. You could probably position a couple of destroyers here to shoot into this base right here, because it looks like it's almost a direct line of sight right there. So I don't know why he isn't doing that. Again, nobody has access to cruiser missile tech, because that's Aeon and Seraphim things. Not except missile tech in the form of the, again, Torrents. But that's not cruiser missile tech or even... Well, they do have sub-nuke missiles, or the nuke sub-missiles that... Yeah, they do have that. But, bar that, there's only a couple of other units in the game that have missile tech, in the naval department at least. Cloaking started for Charles. He's going to protect himself in the middle. It does cost a lot of power to run, but he's on double base, and he does have the air grid obviously under his control. Definitely needs to expand it out a little bit if he's going to buy or build the upgrade for his comm. Again, he's losing power pretty quickly. Might need to pause that, because if he doesn't, he's going to lose mass income, and there it went. Yep. Gotta fix that. That's going to hurt his income for a little bit. Team 1 is now de facto in the lead because of that. Not, I mean, by a decent amount, but Team 2 will catch up once that upgrade is finished. It's at 60%. It is going decently quick. I mean, I feel like he could have paused the upgrade on his comm and then just had the engineers assist. It's still going to cost him a lot of power, but it would cost him less power. And yes, it would go slowly. He's up to negative 24,000. Maybe just build it on your comm, but he's almost done with it, I guess. So it's just, yeah, it's still negative though because he goes straight for laser. It could work. The only problem is a very easy counter to the laser cloaking comm is either have a spy plane above them or have an Omni nearby. That's it. Very easy counter in terms of just seeing it. Now actually countering the damage, that's a different story. But at least seeing the things, you can actually shoot at the thing. It's pretty easy. GC 30% says Sainse. Yep, it is about 30%. Closing in on 40%. We do see the Mega with his inbound. Team 1's MacroNoob skipped the Monkey Lord and went straight for the Mega. Better range, better... Again, DPS in terms... Actually, it doesn't have better DPS. It has better range. I think it might... I don't know if it has better range on board, to be honest. That is not what I wanted to circle. Let's see. DPS 308 on the launcher. That's a lot of firepower for the... That, and it's... it's 1250 times 2? I thought each burst... I guess it's a little slower. So it's 1250 per burst times 2? I thought it was an even 3,000 per burst. That's definitely 3,000. Yeah. So yeah, it looks about 3,000. But laser comm is inbound from Team 2's Charles. There it goes, and he's gonna walk up right in front of that guy. The only problem I have is again if a spy plane comes says hi, he could easily be targeted. Bricks are behind the megalith. Oh, it looks like maybe some ground firing happening. Team 1 probably doesn't know he's there. They don't know he's there, but they're trying to ground fire the best they can with a little bit of AoE. Charles is hurting a little bit. He drops to about 17k hit points. Do they see him now? Maybe they see him now? No, they don't see him now. We have Loyalist inbound from the right there. I'm pushing all the wrong buttons to get everything back to normal. And unfortunately for Team 1, they're not able to go after... Oh, they are able to go after, but just not able to kill the comm. And now there's a little bit more reclaim for Team 2 to scoop up. There are some sniper bots. Again, since Team 1 does not have access to Aeon or Seraphim tech, Team 2 has that unit all to themselves. And they also, again, have the mobile shield all to themselves. Not even the, again, Seraphim or UEF side of things. Because the Seraphim has the nice 10,000 shield capacity, but it's T3. And then the UEF have the Parashield that does not hover. I still think it should hover, but that's just my 2 cents on that. And we see transport is inbound, does get spotted by Team 2, says nope. It would have been a nice drop killing off at least these mexes right here. Probably would have taken some time to go after this one to kill off that, but it would have killed off that one and the engineers and maybe that one. And then by the time Team 2 responded, maybe even that one. But I think that one would have been a stretch though. Unless he landed there and then moved this way. But still. Team 2 saw it, counted it. No thank you. And again, that's partially due to the fact that Team 2 has, again, this nice little Omni sensor online. Team 1, do you have one of those? If they did, it's probably gone, because that's probably what that bomber targeted. MacroNoob going for his own cloaking upgrade. Again, it's going to cost him power to run. Almost 3,000 power, but he has more than enough, at least as of right now. MacroNoob total power. Nah, definitely probably glad he didn't lose that T3 P-Gen. That would not be fun. Speaking of losing T3 P-Gen, that bomber would have killed it off if that shield didn't come online. Nice quick counter there by Team 1. And it looks like Team 2 has fallen back to not deal with that. Another bomber inbound. It's gonna take one more bomber, but again, if the shield, which it does get upgraded to, it's gonna have a full capacity. So running 1 or 2 bombers in, it had to have been one and then the other immediately, not just one and then maybe send another one and then maybe send another one in after that. It didn't work. Nice attempt though, and it would have starved MacroNoob of power at least for a little bit. And he's actually still losing power a little bit. In terms of Swatoslav's power, he's still positive, but again, not by a whole lot, because that's about 1 T3 P-Gen. He is getting more online as we speak, so it is helping to flush out those numbers. Team 2, how's your power and eco going? Not terrible for Neytron. Again, still only 1 T3 P-Gen. Now we see about a 1.5, closing in on 2. And he's stockpiling a lot of mass. He's not really spending a whole lot of it. I wonder if he's going to spend all that mass on it. He has cloaking and laser online. I'm interested to see, again, in a Cybran-focused game like this, 5 of the 6 players are Cybran. We've seen 2 cloaking laser commanders. We have not seen a teleporting laser commander yet, or a telemaser. We will see if that happens. Maybe Swatoslav's going to do that. He doesn't have any upgrades yet. It only would take 1 upgrade change for MacroNoob to do it, and same thing with Charles. Maybe send it this way. Again, no Omni sensor on any of the land experimentals in this game, so cloaking would work unless, again, spy plane or Omni's within range or whatever the case may be. We do see an Omni is within range here for Team 1. There is a Monkey Lord started. It's about half done now. If the GC continues to push, which it immediately does not, so just forget the words that I just threw out there or about to throw out there. I'm like, oh, he could keep walking in, and then defeat that being built. But unfortunately, it's going to be built by the time he turns around and walks back, which it looks like he's not doing that. He was probably fearful of this. I don't blame him because he doesn't want to get cornered like his comm almost was earlier. Still no T2 Navy. Why no T2 Navy? Just build cruisers on the edge or build a couple of destroyers, and you kind of almost lock out air from going this way at all. 100%, you'd have no transport that'd be able to get over there unless they went or whatever the case may be. I just don't know why you can't just lock out a huge section of the map just by building a couple of cruisers and destroyers. Destroyers just to dissuade some maybe Medusa from saying hi. And see, there's the attack from the GC. Had it continued, now it's going to stop again. Again, forget the words that I was going to say. Had it continued, it would have prevented the Monkey Lord's construction. It would have been, maybe it would have been close, but it definitely would have been denied. And Megalith is inbound. Looks like southward. Another Megalith's going to be built pretty quickly by MacroNoob. He's really pumping those things out. He's up to 2 now. GC is done for Team 2's Neytron. Again, there's no access to the eastern side of the map unless you transport your units, teleport them over, of course, drop, and transport them being dropping them, or actually walking them over there. So as long as Team 1 can hold, I mean, relatively the best position to hold is this, because then you can kind of prevent attacks going this way and attacks going this way. Team 2 has that, so they're preventing attacks going the opposite way coming to them. So it's a choke point for both directions, which is always nice. I guess that's how a choke point usually works anyways. But anyway, Team 1 just has to hold, to be honest. They could go for a sneaky play. Maybe, I would say Nuke would be the more efficient way to do it, and usually you can get some pretty good things killed off, especially in a ladder match with a Nuke. I mean, because that's, again, the idea is that in a ladder match, things are built usually longer into the game. Nuke, SMD, artillery. Because in a maybe 5v5, 6v6, we'd already maybe see a Nuke be built. We'd see SMDs all over the place for the most part. At least you'd hope to see SMDs all over the place at this point. Artillery maybe started. Maybe somebody thought about a game ender. But in ladder matches, it's slower because a lot more of the focus is on maybe getting to the middle of the map, getting T2, getting T3, getting some armies online. This map's a little bit different because there's less land to worry about. And a pretty much heavy, if not entirely land-focused maps, it's land for a while and then some air, depending on configurations of base locations and whatnot, or starting locations, and how to get access to them. And we do see Neytron starting the Tsar. Again, he's had control of air for a little bit, unless Team 1 really pumped out air, which, again, Swatoslav is a really good player. Again, the lowest ranked player in this game is almost the 1700, so high-level plays in this game. Again, as a reminder, Team 1, Sainse traded his 1700 rating for Team 2's almost 1900 rated, one of the two at least. So in terms of a rating trade, it's not too bad. It's 200 points roughly. I'm not that much of a aficionado on exactly what rating should be playing at what, do things, time-wise, whatever. Maybe I should do a deep dive maybe on that at some point, maybe after my vacation when I am back, because this video is being released while I'm on vacation. But anyway, going back to Overseer view. I don't know what Team 2 is up to. We see another crab being built. Mexes are being, I would assume, upgraded. Oh no, looks like they got destroyed. Maybe missile attack? Maybe? Those seem a little bit far forward, or a little bit further back for Team 1 to hit with a missile. I don't see a TML anywhere. Omni's been rebuilt. Love to see that. We see 2 megawatts coming down the middle. We have 2 GCs. The range will favor Team 1. The hit points will favor Team 1. The unit count is definitely what's going to be taken, obviously, into account. There's a lot of sniper bots here, so if they can shoot at those megawatts as they're coming down this way and they can shoot this way, that's going to heavily favor Team 2. And since there's really no attack coming from Swatoslav on that eastern side, all of this can focus right onto that. And it's a very bad arrow. There we go. That's a little better. I don't know why I draw it weirdly when I draw it the other way. I mean, I could do that. Yeah, that would probably work. But it's doing that just naturally is probably the other thing that I have to practice on. Anyway, Brick landed with a nice little deceiver. Love to see that. No Omni down here. Transport will be shot down. Other transport will also be shot down. But again, they did their mission. They dropped off a decent chunk of Medusa over here. A couple of Harbingers, though. Going to wipe that out pretty quickly. T2 Mex is 1,000% going to be either close to death or entirely taken offline. Close to death. Close to death, not taken fully offline. The Deceiver is down. The Brick will kill off 2 of the Mexes. And then, speaking of the Megawatts, they fall back. Don't tell me the entire land force is going to target a couple of Bricks. You don't need all of that. I mean, these Loyalists will be more than enough, to be honest. Even half of those Loyalists will be more than enough for the most part. Donut is starting to position. We do see... Oh, there it is. Here, they're thinking about it. They're thinking about it. You can see it. Strap bombers are inbound for something. I don't think they dropped... they still get it. Oh, they actually got it. Wow, that's impressive. I didn't think they would actually kill off the Omni. That does blind a Team 1, allowing Charles to get closer. Again, the only problem is all Team 1 has to do is just get a spy plane in the area, and then boom, Bob's your uncle. They see the comm, they focus fire immediately, and then he's dead. Or at least close to death. So, I don't know about that. And look at that, new Omni online anyways. So, there it is. Maybe Team 2 doesn't notice that, and he pushes in, which he's getting closer. Yeah, and they see him. He is within Omni range. Just barely. He actually is falling back. No, that's him right there. And yeah, he's falling back. That donut, it almost looked like a carrot on a stick. Like, hey, come get the carrot while we bash your head in with the stick. Looks like they're going to go this way. There's not a lot of AA over here. The ASFs are going to see that immediately. They're going to have to counter. They have to. Again, in terms of ASF count, that's what I was doing before I got distracted. Team 2's at only 50? It seems a little less than I would expect at 42 minutes. Swatoslav's probably more than that. 84. It's not 50, but it is a chunk. Again, as a reminder, this donut was built by Neytron. Everything else was built by Charles, and he's not really focusing. And he's still focusing on it a little bit, but he's gifted everything over to his teammate of Neytron. Here comes the fight in the air. The donut is going to be used as a sacrificial lamb. The donut should have activated its laser to do some damage to those ASFs as they flew through the middle. And there goes the donut wreck. I mean, we knew it was going to happen. And again, had they had cruisers in the pond, I mean, there's a little bit of some attack boats here, some shards, but had they had the AA from the cruisers, they maybe could have saved that donut. Maybe. It would have been close, but they maybe could have saved it with all the AA nearby. Now a cruiser shows up. Could have happened like 10 minutes ago. You'd had that in place. Looks like comments made about, hey, go get that reclaim. Talking about the engineers from Charles. Making sure it doesn't sit there. Saying, hey, you can go over here and reclaim. Also, come reclaim all the ASFs as well. There's a clumpage of ASFs sitting on that little ridge there. Or cliffside, I should say. Team 1, 2 players left. Team 2, also 2 players left. The only 2 players who have died traded with one another or drew with one another. So no other deaths have happened since then. It's been probably, 30-something minutes at this point. Team 1 and Team 2, again, not very far away from each other in terms of eco. It's actually favoring Team 1 at this point, about 760 to 700. Total mass accrued in Team 1's favor, but not by a whole much amount of mass in total. I mean, less than a Monkey Lord's worth, so not a lot of mass. And map control, I'm going to say it's 50-50. A little bit of control over here for Team 2, a little bit of control here for Team 1. That's really about it in terms of leading on the map. And yeah, you could say the water situation, the naval situation is fluid. Not really, though, considering Team 2's the only one that's built stuff down here. Team 1 hasn't really invested any time into Navy except for that very small moment when Torpedo was started on Swatoslav's comm. He said no to that and then never went back. By the way, he also has RAS on board, so he's a little bit more eco to himself. 13 mass and then 2,700 power. I think that's as much as a RAS upgrade for Aeon and Seraphim. In terms of the power, not in terms of the mass. He doesn't have that, so I couldn't check. But I think it's about that. Maybe it's, again, different because he's a Cybran, and everybody else, Aeon and Seraphim, have 2 upgrades for RAS instead of the 1. Maybe it's the same with the UEF. We don't have UEF in the game to check that, so yeah. But ooh, that was about what, over a dozen or so dead bouncers for that one strat. The strat, honestly, probably, yeah, it definitely paid for itself. Look at that, 5,000 versus 1,100. I mean, that's pretty good for taking out, one bomb drop, taking out, a dozen or so units. That's great. It's not mass income, it's not power, but it's still a chunk of mobile AA. And where Team 2 and Team 1 have kind of sort of been, not necessarily back and forth, but there's not really been a lot of ASFs online generally. A chunk of AA being eliminated is kind of nice for Team 2 to use. Kind of nice. Don't know what this Congolana Engineers is for, but they're doing probably help reclaiming this thing probably. GC in the pond. It is going to go that way. There's 2 GCs gifted over to Charles. It's probably going to end in just one push. Either Team 1 wins this, and they're going to just keep going, and then Team 2 is going to recall, or Team 2 pushes in, and Team 1's going to recall. Just because once this middle collapses, either they go that way, or they go that way, or they go that way. And all of those are bad options for Team 1. One GC, that Megawith, unless he targets that Megawith immediately. Oh, he's going to sit under the waves. I think he noticed that Megawith there. Team 1 has, again, 4 Megawiths and a monkey. I think whoever does the attacking will probably lose. Just because that means all of that reclaim, as an example, will be on Team 1 or Team 2 side of the map. So whoever, they're playing chicken right now, just building, and then one person, once they blink, they're like, okay, we got to go for it. That might be the nail in the coffin for that team. We do see a decent group of forces here for Team 2. Again, this has been separate from this over here. This entire line has kind of been in its own little realm, even though it's pretty close to that middle line. We have a group of gunships moving northward. We have the ASFs over here for Team 1. Looks like they're going to go up and around because they probably do. If they do notice them, they're probably going to go that way. They might fly over this way. ASFs are moving in to shadow them as we speak. Mexes are being taken offline. They are T2 Mexes, but they are still T2 Mexes. It's still 9 mass a second times 2 times however many Mexes get killed up there. You see the ASFs are sitting there from Swatoslav right now. He traded out his gun upgrade for a T2 upgrade, a little bit more hit points and engineering power. And ASFs, again, there's some restorers in here and whalers. They have decent AA and semi-decent AA. Not as good as the AA used to be on the restorers. Apparently they nerfed that for whatever reason they did that. And we do see a group of forces getting slowly close to this line. Again, there's a Megawith. They're thinking about it. They're thinking about it. This northern side of Mexis is dead. Trim Expedition, mostly T3s, couple of T2s. It does drop the eco a little bit, still in favor for Team 1, but not as much as it used to be. We have a couple of restorers now chewing apart a couple of loyalists for Team 1. We're starting to see things start to emerge. There is a Megawith, the Megawith Monkeywood that does break. Go this way with that Mega, though. Artillery is online for MacroNoob. Laser, again, cloaking is online for MacroNoob as well. We have Charles shadowing the GC and the Mega. Team 1 definitely knows he's there. There's the icon indicating that they can actually see him via radar. 2 GCs versus 1 Mega. This will draw the attention of these forces from Team 1. There's a lot of sniper bots in here. So once they get within range of those units, they will die pretty quickly. I think the goal is to crash on this line, draw as much forces away for as long as possible. Again, Team 2 cannot see that comm. They can. Oh, nope. Sorry. They did see him for a second because of the spy plane. They should lose sight of. No, he built an Omni closer, barely within range. Oh, that's the wrong player. No wonder I can't click on it. Barely within range of that comm. They can still see him. The laser is not going to have as much range on it as the laser on the GC is, and of course there's 2 megawatts there as well. They're targeting those megawatts as we speak. Where's the gunships? The gunships are still hanging out over here, and we have the 2 GCs. They are pushing forward. The megawatt and the monkey, they're trying to catch up, but they can't really get there yet. The front line is starting to collapse. There's a decent amount of T2 artillery here that's helping to chew away the megawatt, though. There is a decent amount of bricks in the water, however, and that comm should have gotten out of range of that cloaking. There is another spy plane, or the Omni. Kind of doesn't really see him, though. The eastern side has entirely collapsed, though, for Team 1. ASFs are inbound. Looks like they killed off the ASFs and the gunships. And again, doesn't really kill off the comm. It did maybe a little bit of damage to him. They still don't see him, I'd imagine. Nope, they're focusing on the base itself. T3 artillery is being hit, and it looks like they're just going economic at this point. This the megawatt is almost dead. Nope, gets some veterancy, so it stays alive. T3 artillery is down. Probably could have just made other stuff. There's still a lot of bricks here for Team 2. There's a lot of reclaim to be had. There's the artillery reclaim, of course. PGen goes down, SMD goes down, unless Team 2 has a nuke somewhere. GC coming around the bend this way, going straight north this way. And the comm of Charles is inbound. And I don't think Team 1 sees him. No, Team 1 doesn't see him. They're saying fall back, maybe. There's the laser upgrade. Circles constantly here from Strogo saying get out of there. And, I mean, it was a nice play. Kill off the additional Omni sensor there. And GC over there. Swatoslav probably maybe wishing he had that gun upgrade, but maybe not. T3 upgrade, I would imagine. Maybe building laser. And there goes another megawatt for Team 1. There goes the other megawatt for Team 1. And honestly, technically I did say whoever attacks would probably lose, but the amount of distraction that 1 megawatt and 1 monkey was able to be drawn away from Team 2, wasn't able to catch up to the DCs doing a ton of damage. And there goes MacroNoob Control King. He sees the end of the game. We do see, I think he saw the comm was there for a second. Yep, there he is. Recall. Ready to recall for Swatoslav. We'll see if he actually does recall here for a second. His base to the north is getting hit by that GC. Mechs over here being denied. And it's very, I mean, it could be recovered from, but I don't think so at this point. I really don't. That distraction pulled units away, allowing more of these units to do more damage, allowed the bricks to get in and around, killing off most of that base. And then those GCs were still able to break through and kill off that location, essentially this location at this point. The GC is still there. There goes the Control K from Swatoslav. He sees the game is actually ended at this point. Actually, the GC is just sitting there. Not really doing a whole lot. Team 2 wins the game 50 minutes and 55 seconds. Actually, Control K has everything in that mix. I don't see anything big and exciting happening in the bases down here to the south. You built it now. After what? How much time was I talking about building Tempest? Not Tempest, sorry. Torrents and stuff going for missile ships. He builds it now? 45 minutes, something on the dot or whatever? Anyway. Yeah, it's Team 1. It was unfortunate. Had those units stayed there, maybe the middle wouldn't have fallen. But again, the problem is that Team 1 just got hammered by Team 2 on that eastern front, and then they just could not stop them. And then maybe, even if Charles died here, you still had Neytron. He was back here in this little pond, almost exactly in the same spot as Swatoslav, I mean, in terms of the exact position in that little pond. Pretty gosh darn close. It would have been a 2v1 game, but Swatoslav would have lost this base in terms of eco. This GC was inbound. This GC was inbound. So those bases would have been eliminated. You would have been left with the artillery piece from MacroNoob and maybe some other units here. Maybe there could have been a counter on the ground, but the air would have been severely denied, if not entirely gone by that point. And the game probably would have gone on for at least another 5 minutes at that point, but not by much after that. It would have probably still been Team 2's win because he would have had 3 bases under his control, tons of eco to play with, and he's building Tempest because why not? Not keep saying Tempest, Torrents because why not? Would have easily been able to hit this base from there 1,000%. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Again, granted, crabs and monkeys could have come and say hi because he would have to position them right about there, but could have easily wiped out that base that way. Wasn't a lot of TMD there. A lot of hives, though, but not much anything else. Team 2 wins the game, and it just took that one final push, and that was it. Again, draw over here to the west, and everything else was control K. So let me know down in the comments what you felt about the game overall. Thank you so very much. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't, because I don't know why you wouldn't at this point, hit the like button, subscribe, all that sorts of the YouTube goodness, and I will see all of you in the next one.